Today I'll be playing some Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Hello, welcome back to the Gar YouTube channel. If you're new here, I upload YouTube game videos once every week, so if you enjoy this video, please give a like and subscribe, much will be appreciated. And ding on that notification bell to stay updated with new content on this channel. Now in my last video, I played Operations for the first time, and I showed off my Blood Angel Space Marine. But as I was playing through that Operations mission, I was struggling with parrying. And I thought during the campaign my parrying was quite good and quite sufficient enough, but sadly it didn't seem like that was actually the case. Parrying was very, very poor, and I couldn't seem to get the right timing or the right window. Now, I didn't know that certain weapons have certain buffs in regards to parrying, and that's something I'm hopefully going to help you within this video. Now, let me go ahead and walk over to the Armory Hall. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. Don't jump down my throat. I'm no expert on parrying and whatever. I just thought I'd do my own research, and from what I found, I thought I'd show you what certain differences are and what certain things can help you within your operations and even PvP game modes and the campaign. So as I load up my bullet character here, because it's very important to me, I want to parry. It's because it's mainly a mean lean type character or class this is. So if I go into my standard issue, medium weapon, you of course have three different weapons on the bullet character. You have a chain sword, you also have a power fist, or you have a power sword. Now every single base variant of these weapons will have a balanced defense rating, and as you flick through the different skins or variants of these weapons, there will be increases and decreases of certain areas. So if I hover over the balanced area, it will actually tell you the different variants or different perks you can get with these variants. So if you have a, like say, a fencing buff, you will have an increased perfect parry window. So it means you'll be able to parry in certain timings greater than you would do on a balanced or a block weapon. Obviously, a block has no perfect parry window, so it can be any random parry window. And then balance is a moderate parry window. So, of course, blocking is kind of like the default kind of blocking animation where you just block a certain attack, but you don't force them into a parry window or a critical strike or a critical gun strike, which you'll sometimes see when you're playing Operations and playing against Tyranids or even Chaos Space Marines. So, as I hovered over some of these variants, you can see some of them just generally say balance, but this one says, as you can see here, which says the beta says block. So this will go down to more of a blocking weapon, but will obviously have increases in certain areas like cleaving potential. And then things like here, which is this weapon variant, is a fencing boost, which will have cleaving potential a lot less. So what that means is cleaving potential means that you can clear a lot of enemies, aka the lower swarms Tyranids, very, very quickly, swiping, and just clearing the field of any enemies. But your parrying animation, aka fighting bigger enemies, one-on-ones, will be a lot more tougher to do because you will not have a perfect parry window. But obviously, if you go for fencing, as an example, you will have, like I've said, a lower cleaving opportunity, but you'll have a more perfect parry window to be able to basically block any blue or non-blue pop-up attacks and send them into a gun critical strike or obviously a staggered animation. So please remember that blocking is for cleavering enemies and not really good for one-on-one fights. But if you are not so bothered about cleavering and more bothered to take on bigger enemies or medium-sized enemies one-on-one, get a fencing buff weapon, which has less cleavering but better parry windows. Now, before I go and try this out within Operations, like I said, a lot of these variants are pretty much universal across every single weapon class. So it's not just the power sword, it's not just the power fist that has block, or the chainsaw that has fencing. They all have their own different variants on their own melee weapons, and they all have their own buffs and decreases within certain areas that you can see as I'm hovering over some of these random ones here for the power fist and some for the sword as well. Now I'm in a Operations game mode. I don't know if live people are going to join me, but I'm going to show you how some of these will obviously work. Of course, as you can see, we have quite a few medium-sized enemies, I like to call them. We'll wait for a blue pop-up, which apparently pops up there, but we didn't. As you can see there, if you get the right parry, you will obviously get either a critical strike animation or pop-up, or you will get, obviously they'll go into a stagger animation, and you've basically got to hit them with a couple more strikes to probably get them to go into an executable state. So as you can see, you have to parry them at the right time, and what I've found is usually when you have big enemies like these is to try and parry with within the window of them just about to attack you. That seems to be the best one for me. Of course, if you have a fencing weapon, then this will be a lot easier, like I said before. If you have a blocking weapon, it might be a lot more trickier for you. Now, of course, practice makes perfect when you're learning how to parry, and by no stretch of the imagination am I the most perfect parry person in the world. Of course, I use a bullet character, and I found out that some of these bullet characters actually have a smaller parry window. Now, I don't know if that's entirely true, but from what I've read on certain things on Reddit, it seems like that may be somewhat of the case. Now, of course, I'm getting absolutely mauled here. The one thing I can recommend for a bullet character is by double clicking the parry button. And that can be just by double clicking LB or whatever game console or PC you're on. And that somehow works for me. Even if you're not getting the blue pop-up, of course, make sure you dodge actual dodgers. Even if you're not getting the pop-up or you are, double click, and that seems to give me a parry mostly every time with a balanced or fencing weapon. Now, of course, as I get absolutely mauled by all these the Xenos scum, I'm actually going to go ahead and try and fight my way through this horde if I possibly can, which is coming a bit more harder and harder by the minute. Now, like I said, if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a like, subscribe, comment down below what you're actually struggling with within Space Marine 2. I'll be more than happy to look into it for you and upload and create a video on that point that you are struggling with. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.